and then every poem I feel like I'm gonna cry. But it could be, you know, spaces like this, they encourage crying, which is awesome because we need to fucking cry. Let me see if I have something on my poem that won't make us cry. I mean, on my list. Are you serious how it ends here? Yeah. Okay, I will do that. But not right now. I'm still in a cryy mood. I love that you all are hollering out happy poems, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. Because sometimes I do feel like I have to be really serious. Not that happy things aren't serious. So anyway, I want to give a disclaimer to this poem before I read it. Who here has heard of Kate Bornstein? You! Kate Bornstein is this amazing gender activist for lots of things, and I read an article of hers a couple of years ago where she's talking about marriage equality. And this next poem has been my gay marriage poem. But I prefer the term queer marriage. It's more inclusive of people, all genders and sexualities. And anyway, Kate Bornstein wrote an article talking about marriage and the movement within the queer community, you know, fighting for marriage equality, and the amount of effort we are putting into that one thing when so many other things so badly need our attention, particularly with the suicides of so many of our youth and everything that's happened. Just there are so many other things that so badly need our attention. She also talks about marriage as just a privileging institution. It privileges people on the basis of class, race, looks, so many things. Anyway, go to katebornstein.com and read everything she's ever written. She's amazing. That said, I've continued to read this poem. And I suppose I do believe that marriage is still one of the things to be working towards. And the thing that inspires, there are several things, but the two stories that motivate me to read this poem is, one, I used to be a preschool teacher, and when I was teaching, I was, okay. When I was teaching, I was walking by two little girls at the art table one day, and one little girl said to the other little girl, "I'm going to marry you someday." And the other little girl said, "No, we can't get married because we're both girls and we'll go to jail." And what I realized was in the minds of little kids, not legal means criminal. In our culture, criminal breaks down to evil, and from there spirals off a thousand hate crimes and just horribleness. So that's one story. The other story is, I read this poem in Boulder, Colorado, where I live, and a woman came up to me after the show and said that several years previously, her partner had been rushed to the emergency room, and because she wasn't family, she wasn't allowed in the room with her where she was being helped. And she spent the whole night trying to get in, and they wouldn't let her get in. And her partner ended up dying that night. And she said she wakes up every day of her life not knowing if her partner knew how hard she was trying to get into the room to be with her. So, I still read the poem sometimes. Here it is. Baba 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 dang a dang dang ding a dong ding I do dip 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 do I do dip 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 baba 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 dang a dang ding a dong ding I do. But the fuckers say we can't. Because you're a girl and I'm a girl, or at least something close. The most we can hope for is an uncivil union in Vermont, and I want church bells. I want rosary beads. I want Jesus on his knees. I want to walk down the aisle and then the patriarchy smile. That's not true. But I do want to spend my life with you. And I want to know 50 years from now, when you're in a hospital room getting ready to die, when visiting hours for family members only, I want to know they'll let me in to say goodbye. Because I've been 50 years memorizing the way the lines beneath your eyes form rivers when you cry, and I've held my hand like an ocean at your cheek saying, baby, flow to me. Because 50 years I've watched you grow with me. 50 years of you never letting go of me through nightmares and dreams and everything in between. From the day I said, buy me a ring, Buy me a ring that will turn my finger green so I can imagine our love is a forest. I want to get lost in you, and I swear I grew like a wildflower every hour of the 50 years I was with you. And that's not to say we didn't have bad days. Like the day you said that checkout clerk was so sweet, and I said, I'd like to eat that checkout clerk, and you said, honey, that's not funny. And I said, baby, maybe you could take a fucking joke every now and then, so I slept on the couch that night. But when morning came, you were laughing. Yeah, there were times we were both half in and half out the door, but I never needed more than the stars on your skin to lead me home for 50 years. You were my favorite poem. And I'd read you every night, and I might never understand every word, but that was okay. Because the lines of you were the closest thing to holy I'd ever heard. You'd say, this kind of love has to be a verb. We are paint on a slick canvas. It's going to take a whole lot to stick. But if we do, we'll be a masterpiece. And we were. From the beginning, living in towns that frowned at our hand-holding, folding their stares like hate notes into our pockets so we pretend they weren't there. You said fear is only a verb if you let it be. Don't you dare let go of my hand. That was my favorite line. That and the time when we saw two boys kissing on the street in Kansas, and we both broke down crying, because it was Kansas. And you said, what are the chances of seeing anything but corn in Kansas? We were born again that day. I cut your cord and you cut mine, and the chords of time played like a concerto of hope, like we could feel the rope unwind, the noose of hate loosening from years of people like you aren't welcome here, people like you cannot work here, people like you cannot adopt. So we had lots of cats and dogs, and once even a couple of monkeys. You taught to sing, hey, hey, we're the monkeys. You were crazy like that. And I was so crazy about you, on nights you couldn't sleep, I'd lay awake for hours counting sheep for you, and you would rewrite the rhythm of my heartbeat with the way you held me in the morning, resting your head on my chest. I swear, my breath turned silver the day your hair did. Like I swore marigolds grew in the folds of my eyelids the first time I saw you, and they bloomed. The first time I watched you dance to the tune of our kitchen kettle in our living room. In a world that could have left us hard as metal, we were soft as nostalgia together. For 50 years we feathered wings too wide to be prey, and we flew through days strong and days as fragile as sandcastles at high tide. You would fold your love into an origami firefly and throw it through my passageways till all my hidden chambers were lit with lanterns. Now every trap door of every pore of my heart is open because of you. Because of us, so I do want to be in that room with you. When visiting hours for family members only, I want to know they'll let me in. I want to know they'll let me hold you while I sing. Ba-ba-da ba-ba ba-ba-da 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 ba-ba dang-a-dang-dang ding-a-dong ding. I'm so in love with you, baby. I'm so in love with you. Dip-dip-dip-dip ba-ba-da ba-ba ba-ba-da 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 ba-ba dang-a-dang-dang. Dingy dong ding, goodbye.